I am quite confident this will be one of the most competitive, interesting, and exciting Trials of Tzeentches in the history of the Immaterium. There's a 0% chance the Changer of Ways will give us a bad show here, right? He's a big fan of my lore videos. He owes me a solid. In the smelly corner, wait the armies of Floridian Fool and PD the Power Dragon, commanding Clan Eshin and the Vampire Coast respectively. Both very strong 2v2 factions where you can kind of double up on firepower, drop some nasty creeping barrages that aren't quite so viable in 1v1. Looking like some decent autogen builds here too. A lot of chaff, a lot of gunpowder, and plenty of terror. And in the elf thing, man thing corner, we have the Empire and the Ezer, commanded by Ragnar and Fatal Cowboy, with one of Emmerich's buddies, Bratwurst, Protector of the Sausage. Bonus versus infantry on this bad boy. Mean Muggin Forest Dragon. Be dropping some soporific breath from on high. Got the Fireborn, some Hellblaster volley guns, a dismounted Fire Mage, about as useful as a poopy flavored lollipop, and the Everqueen's Court Guards directly behind her. Of course, she has all her spells in this one, because this is Trials of Tzeentch, and you must take what the computer gives you. You must shake what your mama gave you, and I expect lots of dead people before melee even begins. Now, I immediately foresee a problem for the Forces of Order here. The Avalanche Mortar Death Globes and Plague Claw Catapults are both really good for killing infantry, and there's a lot on the High Elf and Imperial side of things. Took only one single volley to round off those crossbows, so if you're on the Empire side, you gotta take those threats off the field ASAP or your army just isn't gonna last very long. But it's not like they're lacking for firepower either. Hellstorm rocket batteries have a target-rich environment, both sides do, and the Azure Spears are certainly in the cone of fire, and it almost looked like the Hellstorm rocket battery impacted the Avalanche mortars in the air there and exploded them mid-flight. I don't think that's what happened, but it kind of looked like it. They went through each other. That'd be crazy if the hitboxes actually worked that way. That'd be pretty dope. Anyway, it looks like the Lord on the Griffin is kind of chilling in the back right now, and I'm not sure I like that. It needs to be way more aggressive. Doomflayers are trying to stuff up this advance, so the bird needs to shadow them the whole time and land anytime they commit. There isn't actually a ton of single target DPS for the Forces of Evil, so no reason to hang back that far while your White Lions and Sisters of Avalorn are being torn up. They're having a bad day, but back there, the Grey, Shadow Warrior RR are waiting. They should move up as well, and if they get in range of those Avalanche mortars, should only be like 5 or 6 volleys before that unit is dead completely. Right now, the Doomflayers are doing exactly what they're supposed to do, though. They're stuffing up this entire advance. Griffin needs to be on top of them immediately, but he's hanging back for now, which I think is a mistake. He's afraid of all this firepower. If you think about it, there's not a lot of single-target DPS. Most of this is just complete infantry wave clear. So the Griffin doesn't need to be hiding in the rear. They did a great job getting rid of those Wheels of Doom, though. Fireborn got a full surround up, but here comes that withering firepower, and immediately Dragon Princes with Flaming Lances dropping to half HP, taken to Verdun and given a pounding, and Sisters also being pounded by the Pestilential Plague Claw Catapults. Flaming Sword of Ruin gifted to them. They'll be shooting into the Clan Eshin Sorcerer, rather the Gracier, and looks like a Damned Paladin in the front ranks would definitely be a good target for them because they have those magical attacks. Demigryphs moving through the trees, and still the artillery has not slowed this entire time. Necrofax Colossus lending its weight to the salvos. Looking like Antietam out there, boys. Rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, and so far I'd say the Skaven and Vampire Coast have a relatively hefty advantage in the opening stages of this game. That's typically how it goes when you have a ranged focus build. As soon as your opponent is able to close into melee, things can start shifting back in their favor, but a lot of things are preventing that melee from actually happening. Storm Vermin Summon, dreaded 13th spell, blocking up the Azure Spears, and the Everqueen's Court Guard are going to be gone in 1 or 2 more volleys. Deathglow Mortars still destroying infantry, well over 100 kills already. Talons of Torquelada and some Imperial crossbows firing in, and the Heralds of the Wind harrying the flank for now, but they've still not managed to crack into the center of this box and start shutting down the things that are really destroying their army, and the Crabs are still hanging back as well. Necrofax gonna get some good shots into the flank of those Demigryph Knights with halberds. I'm not sure how they took so much damage. There wasn't a lot on this flank. Would have been great to get them into the center and kill those Avalanche mortars off. Burning Head coming in, and now the Griffin is finally being committed. Definitely a micro mistake to leave him back there for that long. Especially because he could solo that Necrofax Colossus, tie it down, prevent it from firing, and take it from full HP down to 0 relatively quickly. Spearmen surrounding the peg leg. Burning Head ripping on by, turning things to cinder, anything it touches anyway. And the Imperial State troops are indeed being pegged by this monstrous Arcanum freak of nature. Monstrous Large will certainly help in this engagement, but will their leadership hold up? It's looking like a lot of the powerful range units for the Vampire Coast and Skaven are beginning to run low on ammo. They did a lot of damage. Archmage in the back are getting fired at. And Bratwurst, Protector of the Sausage, coming in now. Soporific Breaths have not been used yet, I do not believe. Sirens and the Crabs swarming over the Azar Spears. They should probably rout pretty soon. That is a beautiful Howling Warp Gale to tie down the Forest Dragon for now. Needs to get him on top of the Clan Eshin Gracier. And a Fate of Buna on the Archmage. I'm pretty sure that was a misclick. One of the tooltips on it does say weak versus a single combatant. It'll do like 100 damage, maybe. Spirit Leech is a spell you want there. Probably misclicked. Thought Fate of Buna was Spirit Leech. Would be my guess is what happened there. Forest Dragon has landed, going after the Gracier, and might be able to kill him, strike the head off the snake, and maybe start causing some morale penalties to the Skaven back line. Plague Claw catapult a shot. Most of its ammo now, though. Oh, there's some Eshin Triads nearby. It's a lot of bonus for large and a lot of magical attacks coming in once the Sirens make it. Well played from the Vampire Coast, and the Skaven got a full surround off on the Protector of the Sausage, and that dragon is now gone. Gotta get more units into the fight here. Griffin now taking a 1v1 duel with the Vampire Coast Lord. Does have a halberd, so he has the bonus for large and armor piercing, but overall I'd say with a bit of cycle charging, that is a perfectly reasonable engagement for that Griffin to take. Will get worse though with those Spectral Gunners firing in. And I must say, that was a gorgeous use of the dreaded 13th spell. Not a spell you see very often, but as soon as the Forest Dragon came in to try to goon out the Eshin Overlord, just dropped a bunch of Storm Vermin halberds right on his head, got the full surround off, got all that bonus for large in, and the Forest Dragon was not able to survive for very long. With that said though, should be able to return to the fold here. Heralds of the Wind and Imperial Knights running for the hills. Bounce Bar is pretty clearly in favor of the Skaven and Vampire Coast for now, but the Griffin and Forest Dragon are still online. So is a Warrior Priest. They must get at that Clan Eshin Sorcerer and kill him off for good. Spirit Leech going down on the Griffin as more gunners fire in. Can't believe they still have ammo left, but the range units for the Empire and a few White Lions have rallied and are looking to charge back into the fray. Soporific Breath letting her rip, baby. Followed up by a flaming volley from the Sterling Deathjacks, and the Dragon Princes are still here and charging into armor sundering halberds. That's not ideal. Right into the center of everything that is so much armor piercing. Even the Plague Sensor Bearer ROR are there, full surround off. Howling Warp Gale on the Forest Dragon. Imperial Knights charging in from the flank. Dragonborn shall not be around for much longer. The Dovahkiin shall fall this day. And I think army losses is about to kick in for the attackers. Skaven and Vampire Coast, their gun line held so firm. Yeah, one more volley should be enough to kill off the Forest Dragon if they're able to get it. They're able to finally compromise the rear, but at that point, like, all the ammunition, all the firepower has already been spent. And if all those range troops have fired all their ammo, you know you're in for a world of hurt. Peg leg coming in, stomping over. Here we go. Oh my god. Azar Spears won't stand. And in the Mosquito Swamps, it shall be the day of chaos and destruction. They are the winners. Army Lust kicks in, and it's looking like we had Floridian Fool as Clan Eshin and PD the Power Dragon as the Vampire Coast. Seal the deal there. Well played from them. Ragnar Fatal Cowboy did what they could, but it was not quite enough, and you can see already that those Death Globe Avalanche Mortars were OP in this battle. When they're able to fire all their shots, your army is going to be in a world of hurt. And I liked how they used the Doom Wheels and the Doom Flares. Neither got a lot of kills, but they did push up. They just stopped all the aggression, all the rush from the Empire and the High Elves, and that allowed all their guns tons of time to do the damage they needed to do. I will say, I think the target prioritization from the Empire and the High Elves needed a little bit of work. The single entities like the Forest Dragon and the Lord on the Griffin could have gotten a lot more aggressive if you look at what the Vampire Coast and the Skaven had in this game, this Trials of Tzeentch battle. They had tons of wave clear, tons of infantry killing potential, but not a lot of single target DPS, and that should have allowed the Griffin and the Forest Dragon to go in much sooner. Yes, they would have gotten Howling Warp Guild, yes, they would have gotten tied down a bit here and there, but alongside the infantry and the cavalry all attacking in tandem, I think it would have been difficult for those guys to defend their back line. But still, quite the fireworks display in this one. Definitely an enjoyable game, and if you'd like to see some more Trials of Tzeentch soon, let me know, and I'll see you all in the next video. Andy Pride, signing out for now. Have a good one, guys.